Okay, so today we're going to be looking at Walmart. So what has happened? What is going on? This market has just been going down, nothing but down. And so how can we play this? So I have an idea. I have a potential target, and I wanted to show you that in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing I notice is that on the daily chart. So we're looking at the daily chart, especially on these big moves like this, going anywhere below 4 hour. It's just a lot of noise down there. I like to look at these daily charts. And so the first thing I notice is that it is coming up on this 200 moving average. And so I just released a video about these. This is a 50. This is a 100 simple moving average, and this is a 200. So if you want to go check that out, you can actually watch that. But price really does respect these. And so it is coming up close to this moving average. And so so let's go ahead and actually just write these out. So the first thing is that the 200 moving average. So 200 MA. So that is the very first thing I noticed with Walmart. The second thing is that it just filled a gap. So what does that mean? So let's go ahead back here on the chart. And this was a gap up from earnings. So this was a gap up from earnings from November 18th. And it just filled this. So basically price goes through and it pierces this price at 84.60, whatever that was. And so now that has quote unquote filled. And so let's go ahead and write that out as well. So gap. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is that there is some prior support in or around these levels. And so let's go ahead and find the one that makes the most sense. And to me, this rate here, and we can even color this differently. Maybe we mark it with 4, do like a regular old line right there. So how's that? And so what I notice here is that when it came up, it bounced, it broke it, came back, respected this, and then it finally rocketed up. And so, so what does that mean? Well, that is support. And so this is some big things happening. So gap, we got the 200 moving average, and then we have some support right down here. And you can even argue that this would be the next level as well. But I think we are coming up on the time where we are going to start to see this thing turn around. And so these are the 3 things that I am looking at. So if we can get some price movement to come down here all the way to the 200, we have support right here. This will be a great entry point, because anywhere below this, I think more downside movement would be possible, and it would just continue to just fall. And there's the next one down here, and it, that's a lot of money. But when you start to see moves like this, anything could really happen. But I think we are getting very close to a bounce. And so those are the 3 things that I saw here on these charts. A potential target. And so again, we don't know if it's going to bounce or not. It's still continuing to go down. So at this point, it's really hard to just say, get in some calls, buy as much as you can, because you just don't know. And until you see it bounce, until you see it start to maybe level off, when you see something like this, where we start to finally say, okay, take a breath, it's going to be fine. And then then we can eventually see it go back to the upside. And so again, we'll keep an eye on this. I like this general area. And for a target, we can even draw some kind of arrow up here, but let's just say it does come down to this 200 moving average. I think a target that would make sense, if you do this trend line, and so there was a trend line right here. And so a target that would make sense would be, I don't know if it could have this much juice at this point, but somewhere along the lines of, I would say 90. I would say 90 is a good solid round number, and this is actually where it gapped down here. And so somewhere around 90 is where I would say would be a very good target area. So somewhere right here, right there at this level, before potentially, it could have a nice little bounce, but then it just could continue to go back down. But I don't see this continuing to just go down how it has been. So I think we're very close. We're not there yet to a bounce. And once we get that, I think 90 is where we could go. And then this is where you'll start to potentially see it go sideways and even come back down. But again, this is just, this is a short term. This isn't really a buy and, it's going to go back out to all-time highs. I think this is definitely, we're due for a bounce, and the bounce could be anywhere from 90, and it continue. Who knows? It could continue to come all the way back up here to 95 or something like that. But again, if we have another red day here, or if we start to see this go sideways, like I said, the gap has been filled. We could definitely start making some decisions to start to go long here. So, all right. Well, hopefully that was informational. And if it was, as always, go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like. Definitely would appreciate you guys doing that. And if you want to see more of this, let us know, because this is something that I enjoy doing. And so this would be really good if we can get some feedback, and that we continue to keep doing this. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.